Welcome back to the Million Dollar Landscaper Podcast. Today, we're going to be diving in and talking about marketing. It's springtime. We're all trying to get more customers, and it's really been a mix of people having either no customers or they're just overloaded and they have to tell people no. Hopefully you're on the latter end, but we've had some pretty close clients of ours that have this issue. They're having a tough time getting customers. And a lot of it goes back, there's multiple different things, but a lot of it goes back into the way they're marketing. And I wanted to talk about a few different things that we're seeing, whether some of the mistakes they're making because they're trying to market their whole landscape business to everyone, or some of the things that they're just doing overall. And I guess the kind of backstory with this, or not backstory, but with this whole podcast here that we're talking about today with marketing is this is all based towards small to medium-sized landscapers that are, still typically kind of out in the field. They're working, they're just busy, and they don't have the money.
Yes, if you're already like a $2 million company that's already booked out through August, then you can skip this episode.
Yeah.
Just pass.
and we get it because we understand you're wearing all the hats. You have to be out there doing everything. And you're trying to run the jobs. You're trying to manage your employees, get your customers, and all this stuff. And it gets to be overwhelming some points, and I totally get to that. I remember my dad freaking out because he's trying to do all this stuff, and it's a lot. It's a lot. But one of the things that we do see is a lot of people are trying to market everything to everyone, and it's really one of the first things you need to do is really define who your customer is, and so you can address that person directly. When we talk to people in our program, we ask them who's your ideal customer. Who do you want to get in front of? Just looking back at our own landscaping business, for a while we did a lot of work for contractors. So it was a little bit different than, marketing to homeowners and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It was more networking and stuff like that. But when we switched to high-end residential, it was totally different marketing type and how to reach out to those people. So we had to change our methods, the message we sent out to people. So you really have to figure out who your customer is and where you want to get.
We did the same with mowing as well.
Yes.
We did not do residential mowing.
Yes.
We only did commercial. So once again, that plays into your marketing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of networking versus just sending out postcards.
Yeah. And I'm working with a client right now. They are changing. They're trying to, increase their route density and get more customers in certain areas. And I'm like, okay, well, who lives in this area? Are they high end, medium, whatever, what type of client are they? And it took them a while to really think about it and who they wanted to serve. But once they started understanding, okay, they're high end residential, we want to keep doing continuous maintenance on their properties. Okay, great. Now we can refine our message of what we want to do, Is it fine gardening, all this and stuff, whatever it is?
Well, because I'm sure you see these where you live, or maybe this is the name of your company. I see maintenance people all the time. They're like mow and blow. What's that other one that's like grass is ass or something? Ass grass. My point being, those you're going to get the customers that they just want you to come in, mow, get out, get done. They don't want, like you're talking about, full on high touch, continuous maintenance. It's just different. It's different marketing because it's for a completely different audience. And so just look around. Yeah. I'm not trying to offend anybody if that's the name of your company. If mow and go is your thing and you are doing well with it, then keep up with it. But you're just going to have very different messaging than if you're trying to get somebody that lives in an estate where you have to work with an estate manager to get in and stuff like that. It's just different.
The other thing I was kind of mentioning too earlier is we're trying to market landscaping to everybody, but you really need to break that down even further, niching down. If you specialize in hardscapes or water features, yes, that's considered part of landscaping, but it's easier if you can define your target audience that I want to target the high-end residential for water features. And then everything you do is based towards that specific topic of water features, whether you're doing your social media posts, you're making ads if you want to do paid ads, because it makes a big difference. And this is something like a common mistake we see with marketing as far as paid ads. They're marketing everything landscaping to their business and they're bringing it back to their homepage. But if you can fine tune that and say it's water features or lighting and bring it back to your website and just directly to the lighting page or water feature page, you have a better chance of selling that to that customer versus just a general landscape.
I don't remember the name of the study, but this was actually done in a study where they had them selling jam at like farmers markets. And you would think that the more jam varieties that you have available, the more that you would sell. Mm-hmm. And they sent them out with, I want to say it was like 13. Don't hold me to the very exact details of this. I want to say it was 13 though. And they went out and saw how many they sold. And then they went out again with only 6 varieties. They sold more when they only had 6 varieties versus the 13 because it was too many choices. People get overwhelmed. They don't know which one they want. So sometimes less is better because that's fewer things that your brain has to think about and filter. Mm-hmm. So like I said, I didn't really realize that this was going to be relevant today, or I would have looked into that study. So I might have, bungled up some of the tips, but it definitely was jam, and it was they sold more when there were fewer options.
Yeah, like I said,
it's not to say that, like, if you're selling water features that you can't sell the plants and the, seeding and sodding. You can sell that with it, but that's that's not what you're leading with.
It just makes it easier to define that message or whatever you're trying to put out to the people is that we do water features, we do hardscaping, or whatever it is. But just think about that and how can you narrow it down? It's going to make it easier for you to relay that message to that potential customer. So just really think about what you're trying to focus on, what you're trying to sell. And you could be selling multiple different things. But whatever message you're trying to get to, let's tailor it towards this, and then let's tailor it towards this, not just general overall landscape or general maintenance or whatever it is. Think about what you're trying to sell, because like this is very common in the ads realm where they're trying to market lawn care and then they're sending them to their homepage, which lists out every single service you do. You tailor it towards that and then send it to that specific page. That makes a huge difference in
so you're saying, like, if you send out a mailer, if you send out a postcard, instead of just sending them to your general main homepage on your website, if you sent out a postcard that was for lawn care, have the link that is on that postcard go to your lawn care page.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's what that person is interested in. If they see that postcard and are like, oh, I want to see them, send them to what they're looking at.
So this kind of leads us into like the second part, I guess I was going to get into, is like your digital presence, being online in some way, somehow. And this is the issue I have with people just have one page websites where they just list out we're a landscaping service. Well, having, if you do multiple different services like lawn care, landscaping, water features, whatever it is, having a page specifically for each of the services, for one, it's better for SEO. You're going to get found better. Google's going to like it better. They're going to push you up. But it's easier to send the specific people, like Katie said, through the mailer to our water feature page, to our lighting page, whatever it is. It's just going to make it easier to sell.
Well, then people can look at what they want to look at. It's not just one page of a whole bunch of word vomit that's trying to talk about all of the things all at once, because you can't talk about all the things all at once without things getting jumbled, and people can't think about all the things all at once without things getting jumbled. It's easier if you just have that pieced out.
So having a good website as well is very important. Now, even if you build it yourself, which is great, because I used to tell people if you couldn't afford a website, go to Google Business Profile, set it up. That is no longer the case. They took down that feature, so you can't have a
You can still have a Google Business Profile. They just don't have the option anymore to create a web page from there.
Yeah, so you definitely want to have some kind of web presence in some manner. Going along with what Katie's talked about is Google Business Profile. This is a free tool. We talk about it a lot here, and this is something that we help people get set up and optimized, but you want to have a Google Business Profile. This is when somebody's searching online for a landscaper near me or whatever it is they're searching for. This is where the Google Business Profile is going to kick in. It's going to help you get found in that local pack, that 3-pack we always talk about, the 3 map, and shows the top 3.
Well, landscaping to me is a cool industry right now because it's this cross section of the old ways are working as well as the new ways. Like really postcard, like the good old fashioned, like postcards, door hangers, yard signs, all that stuff still works.
Yeah.
But so does we'll call it the new generation, digital marketing. That works too.
Yeah.
And so this is really an opportunity to use both.
It is. And you absolutely need to be doing this stuff. The next part of that, of the digital stuff, is social media marketing. I feel there's some people who do this kind of wrong. They're trying to either be on every single platform, which I understand the theory on it, but just pick one or two and just kind of focus on that, do that. But again, is your client going to be on Facebook? Or is your client going to be on Instagram, X, whatever there are?
Well,
You
earlier we
out.
talked about clients of ours that we work with who do very, very, very high-end residential where you literally have to go through an estate manager to get to them. There is no need for them to market on Facebook because that is not where the people are.
Yeah.
You have to market where your people are.
We want to take a quick second to tell you about our friends over at Cycle CPA. I can't even express to you how important it is to have a good accountant on your side. You know you want accurate bookkeeping and financial statements every month. Instead, you're often left with limited time to focus on the accounting side of your business and no reports to show for it. At Cycle CPA, the landscaping accountants, they not only handle the bookkeeping, but also provide landscape industry benchmarking, job costing, financials by service line, advisory meetings, and much more. Cycle CPA has a team of landscaping accountants available to provide anything from bookkeeping to CFO services. Visit cyclecpa.com and for $100 off, mention the $1 Million Landscaper podcast.
What if you could have new customers chase you down instead of the other way around? What if price was removed as an objection for new customers? Or what if you could stand out without saying a single word? Increase your sales, get more leads, and build a brand with Green Frog Web Design. Get a website that helps you pre-sell your work and remove price as an objection. And we have a great offer for the $1 Million Landscaper podcast listeners. You can get your first month for only $1 with Scott and have your website live in 3 weeks from the projected start date, or it's free for a year. And now, are you tired of sending people to the crusty old website you have? Or is your website impossible to find on Google? Or just does it lack the proper SEO? Allow Green Frog Web Design to build you a new website or improve the SEO on your current website so that it converts visitors and helps you get ranked on Google.
Well, yes and no. Like as far as that person, and we've talked about it because they typically have an estate, an estate manager, somebody's managing their property, and they don't, the homeowners traditionally not even contacting them. But that estate manager might be looking up for landscapers near me. They're going to see your Google business profile.
Oh, Google business profile is fine.
But then they might look, okay, well, I see they have a Facebook page or they have an Instagram page. They might look at that and see what kind of projects you do.
I said, not to necessarily, Facebook ads weren't not necessarily
Gotcha.
what they needed to be using.
Gotcha.
Because it's not like they were marketing to a homeowner. So the Facebook ad isn't what they needed. Yes, you could still have that social presence because people still want to do research on you. They're going to want to have social proof that you exist, that you're a real company.
Yeah, and Facebook is still like one of the top places to be because there's just so many people on it. So again, but you need to look at, is your customer going to be on it or not? But being consistent on whatever platform is the key. You need to be posting regularly, and people get stuck on like what to actually post, whether it's tips or whatever it is. They're just not sure. But you just need to be consistent with it. And this is actually something we've actually been talking about doing.
Yeah, we're going to hopefully maybe have products coming out soon that are going to help with this because it's hard. It's hard to think about all the things because even we don't use social media as well as we should. We know how to, but once again, we're like you all. We're busy. We're running businesses. We have children. I can't stop fostering dogs. And so I just keep, I bring chaos into our lives. So things get busy. But anyway, I digress. That's something that we're hoping to help you all with soon. So stay tuned.
Yeah, but social media is a good thing to do. It is free. So you might as well take advantage of it and start posting things while you're on the job site. Take pictures of your crew, show your crew working, trucks, equipment, all that great stuff. Be consistent on it. The next thing that you could do, it's relatively low cost to zero cost, is email marketing. I know it's really, to my mind, it is like an underused tool in the industry.
I am hoping to bring email marketing to the landscaping industry. Something that I will hopefully in the next year or two be hitting the gas on more is getting more information out to you all about that because it is underutilized and it is a really good. And I think because it's underutilized, it's a good time to kind of jump on it because it will still be a little bit novel to homeowners that are like, oh, wait, what? My landscaper is doing this and this is amazing. It will really set you apart because most people are not doing it right now.
Yeah. The last part I kind of want to talk about is like automating some of this stuff. And this is something I feel is very important. Like we mentioned, you're busy. We understand you don't have time for this. And going back to like the social media, just for example, one of our clients I was talking to, they're like, I just don't have time. I'm trying to do this and this and this. Okay, I get it. But could we spend time or spend, a few hours one day, a rainy day, whatever it is, sitting down and putting it into a system that will automate this and will automatically put out these posts on a scheduled date
and this
time.
is where, once again, this is the opportunity for you and I to step up and get this stuff out better to people. Because we do. I'm just being honest here. Scott and I plan on talking about these things more often.
Yes.
Because, like he said, tools do exist to plan out your social media ahead of time and have it in there and planned out, and you can just schedule it and it will do it for you. So it's not like you have to sit down every day and be like, oh, I've got to put this in. Yeah. No, you can time block that out. You can, like Scott said, you can block out 2 hours, get it all booked out for the month, and then leave it, and it will drip it out as on the set dates.
Some people don't even know, like Facebook has this built in. You can actually go in and create this, especially if you have your business. Well, let me step back. I think this is only available if you have a business account. If you have a personal account, I don't think it works for that. Could be wrong there, but I know for sure business stuff is. And you can go set out. So if Facebook is your place you want to post, you can go post it.
And if you guys want to hear more of this kind of stuff, email us, hit us up on social media, let us know, because these are the things that we actually know quite a bit about, but we haven't talked about, I think, as much as we should. But internally, we've been having the conversations lately of, hey, what are more things that we can be talking about that you all just maybe don't know about yet? And we're happy to bring that to light. We're happy to show you guys how to use them and introduce you to these tools of what they are and stuff like that. Like, what are the tools and resources you can do that will make your job easier?
Yeah. And then kind of leading to what Katie was talking about earlier, some of the older methods of getting out there and marketing yourself is job site signs. These are very relatively inexpensive. And you can actually, there's a little cheat in my mind of what we could do to make a job site sign look more professional. So if you buy the traditional, the vinyl printed signs and you want to have it look a little higher end, you don't want to have just the ones with the metal stakes sticking in your yard. Those work great. Don't get me wrong. But if you do like higher end residential or something, could you take and make the 4x4 post and then like people literally cut the wood and slide the sign right in between the two pieces of wood, box it out and frame it out with wood.
Have some kind of base on it so it doesn't fall over.
It looks a lot more professional. So if you can do that, that is another option. But job site signs are a very good tool to get out there and get found. Wrapping your trucks, having some kind of sign on your truck is very important. To me, it's a rolling billboard, and you really need to take advantage of it and use that. I know it's a good chunk of money up front for those that don't have a lot of money. I know we're trying to keep it under budget, but even just having your name, your readable name, I should say, like readable name, readable sign, and phone
number should be visible, there. Absolutely.
But having it so people can read it from far away easily, and because it's a rolling billboard, or as the trucks are sitting there on the job site and potential customers driving by, they can see it. So this to me is an underutilized tool. Sometimes I see so many people out there with a sign that's really tiny, you can't read it, or they don't have anything on there at all. So make sure you have that on there. Going back to the postcards are a really good tool to use as well. And what we did early on, because EDM is where you kind of send it out through the post office, this is a little bit more money, but a cheaper ways to get postcards made up for whatever specific thing we talked about earlier. So if you do water features, you do hardscaping, create special postcards specifically for whatever type of service you provide. And as you're out with either, your current customer, write down the addresses of their neighbors, send them postcards about the stuff. Or you see a potential client, like I would do this for water features. If I'm driving through and I see a client has a water feature and I don't service it, I'm going to send them a postcard about pond maintenance or whatever, clean out startups, whatever it is. I'm going to send it to them. So all I did was take these postcards, pull them off a pile, put the address on there, send it out to them.
You could spot a pond in anybody's
I
yard.
did.
From like, I never see him. He'll be like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that person's water feature? It was so gross." And I'm like, "I didn't even see it."
Yeah.
So Scott could spot them, but that's like he said, it's a perfect opportunity to go ahead and send them a postcard. Hey,
Yeah.
looking for an upgrade?
But it's a lower ticket item that you can send out there. But like everything we talked about here today is, for the most part, is relatively inexpensive. The websites can get a little costly, but if you do it yourself, most of us don't have time right now.
Your
but,
time investment is going to be the biggest
Yeah.
expense. Yeah.
I mean, you're better off, in my opinion, personally, my opinion is to have somebody else build your website for you. We're not going to get into that topic today, but again, most of these things we talked about are relatively inexpensive that you can start getting your name out there. You need to be doing things consistently, even if you're busy. I know like everybody like will get going, they'll get busy, and they'll kind of slow off either turn off their marketing, stop marketing altogether. But you need to be consistent, because what we saw, even in our business,
Oh,
we're busy.
I'm sitting here smiling. You all can't see that, but I'm sitting here smiling because it's easy for us to say, but we are 100% guilty of these things as well. It's like busy, 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 busy. Crap! It's the end of July. We need jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, go market, market, market.
Yeah.
We've done it.
You're better off
we've
just
done
being
it.
consistently marketing at a steady pace all the time, and you'll get a better return off that than you were just like
the
go,
reactionary.
go, stop.
Yes, and we
So-
know this because, like I said, we've lived it. We've done it.
Yeah. But these are definitely some things that you guys need to think of. So, make sure you're doing something on Google Business Profile. And if you need help with that, reach out to us. Social media.
Yeah, did we? Well, I can't remember if it was at the beginning of the podcast or not, but that is a new service that we are offering, is optimizing Google Business Profiles. We have a course on it as well. So if you're a DIYer and you don't mind spending an hour or two learning how to do it yourself, we have a course that you can go to our website and get.
Yep. It's just head over to the website and you'll see the tools for landscapers and get it. It's only $50 for the course. You can't beat
The
it.
course is inexpensive. Or we can do it for you. If you literally have no time or no desire to figure this out for yourself, that's okay. If you just want your profile optimized, that is a done-for-you service that we are now offering as well.
Yep, definitely check that out. But you definitely want to be on Google Business Profile, get it optimized. You'll see some huge returns on that. Be consistent on social media. Just start posting regularly. There's tons of different things you can post about. Don't ever get stuck in that. I don't know what this post
I
about.
know it's but I get it. It's hard because
it
we
is.
struggle with it as well, just because it's just one more thing to do. But at some point, you have to just make the decision to commit to doing it and getting it done.
Yeah, and if you start building that habit of just I'm going to do it twice a week, start building the habit and doing it.
And put it on your calendar and being like, yep, I'm just going to do it, whether I want to or not.
Yep. Look into email marketing. Email marketing is a great tool to get back in front of your current clients or past clients you've done stuff for.
And I already begged once that any of these you want to hear more about, please let us know.
Yes.
Like I said, we're always looking to tailor our message to what you guys actually want to know more about. So please feel free to, like I said, hit us up on socials or through email to let us know any of these topics that you would like a deeper dive on.
Yep. Take advantage of job site signs. Let's see, we talked about job site signs. We talked about postcards. Make sure you're using postcards. If you don't want to get into the EDM where you're sending out 1,000 postcards, because it does add up, just get some postcards made. Get 100 or 200 made. They're relatively inexpensive. And then just mail them out. Put an actual address on there and send them out to people. And this is something that we're working like a lot more print media we're looking on and just done for you things. So this is something that we are looking to have done here soon. We started trying to do it.
Have done, for you
Created
all.
for you,
Created for you.
Yes.
We're looking, how can we better help you guys get this stuff done? Because it's easy to sit here and say, like, well, you should really be doing this. But then it seems kind of like a jerk then to not offer you tools and resources to help you actually get it done and get it done quicker. So, yes, behind the scenes here, we've been having a lot of conversations of, okay, well, how can we actually help you all get this done and get it done quicker and easier? So that's why I keep begging for y'all to be like, oh, yeah, I'd like to learn more about this. Or if there was something about that, like, do not be shy. Feel free to let us know. Because we want to help you all have an easier time running your businesses because we know how hard it is.
Yeah. And the one thing I've learned over the years with marketing, there is no like right or wrong thing. There's a lot of testing. So don't get stuck in the mindset, I did job site signs, that didn't work. Or I did postcards,
Well,
that didn't
you
work.
can't just do it one time and it didn't work. That is and I get very annoyed with it because, like, fun tidbit, I have a little bit of a short fuse and a little bit of a short temper. And so I get the frustration of doing it. And you're like, well, why would I do this again? That didn't work. Well, unfortunately, like Scott said, I've had to learn that lesson of when it comes to marketing, it is really a whole bunch of just, you've got to keep at it and you have to give it enough time to work. You can't just try one time and be like, well, that was dumb.
Well, they used to say like 7 touch points was the key to getting a customer. That's totally
I've
gone
heard
now.
I've heard it as high as 25 now.
Yeah, I've heard up to 30, where it's just multiple touch points to different people. And the touch points are like sending the emails, sending the postcards, having them see your truck.
They saw your truck. They saw a yard sign. They heard from grandma at church about you. So stuff like that.
So you want to try to do multiple different things at the same time because people are going to hear about you different ways. But the key thing, going back to the very beginning, is figure out who your client is so you can market towards that client. You know, job sites might not work for you because if you work in high-end residential, they don't typically
allow them. Yeah.
So how else can you reach out to them? Well, could the postcard work? As you're at that high-end residential, could you write down the neighbors' addresses, send them postcards? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. So you have to look at all the different methods that are out there and just kind of pick some and try it and do it multiple times until you might get 5 or 10 different ones.
You have to figure,
you
just got to F around and find out.
You do, absolutely. That's 100% a fact. So just don't be afraid of it. There's a lot of different things you can do to get customers. And if you need any help with this, feel free to reach out to us. Like Katie said, put something in the show notes, or not the show notes, but in the comment section, and we'll respond. We can either make another podcast, or we can do a video on it, whatever it is. We want to help you to get better at in getting more customers. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today. And hope you have a great day.